He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell except he that had the mark. The beast is coming. The old world is gone.
So we're going to a different place, which is a new normal.
The new world is taking shape.
So the robots are already all around you. They're all spying on you, the assistants, all of it. And this is a anti-human takeover, a revolution against civilization and society. And all the fools that think you're going to go along with this have to understand you're being taken from a free system into a real dystopic future that's already here. The future's not coming, it's here. And as you notice, it's moving very, very quickly.
We still have a chance to mold our future before it solidifies. We can stop this. We can win. But to do that, it helps to know what the enemy is planning.
So what Susan Wojcicki and Zuckerberg are doing is they're facilitating and advancing and making possible fascism. And what does that make them? Gates is absolutely fascistic in what he's doing. Who is this guy? He's a bloke that's come through selling software, and now suddenly he's dictating global health policy. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's Alice in Wonderland.
With the passing of one bill, an executive order, and the unconstitutional actions of many leaders, our representative republic transformed into centrally planned techno-fascism.
The brute force tactic that was used did work. It worked in every country, but that's caused such immense damage. Now we want to back off from that, and we're a little naive about how to prioritize those activities. We need the testing, we need strong leadership where the scientific community and the politicians are saying, okay, what's the value? Things like school obviously have a very high value.
With universal basic income, shelter-in-place orders, and the destruction of the Bill of Rights.
And the closer we get to Jesus coming back, the more church we ought to be having, not less church. Now that's God's parameters. So I'm tearing up this cease and desist order right here, and I'm telling you right now, we're going to do it God's way. We're going to do it God's way. God tells us how to worship Him. Nobody else gets to do that.
They tell us that it will only be for a short time, but nothing is more permanent than temporary government overreach. The elite are predicting 12 to 18 months of shutdowns.
It's going to be a while before things go back to normal.
And then I told you 10 weeks ago, I said, watch, they'll say it's a permanent emergency and will never end. And they're going to have to cycle it on and off. And now JP Morgan's put out a cycling chart for the next 2 years.
With questionable tests, overdiagnosing, and exaggerated statistics, this length of tyranny won't be difficult for the social engineers to force upon us.
Well, when is this over? I say, personal opinion, it's over when we have a vaccine. It's over when people know I'm 100% safe and I don't have to worry about this. When does that happen? When we have a vaccine.
The UN can play an important coordinating facilitation role, but the companies know where those commodities are, where they move, how to move them. And that's where a type of public-private collaboration that we have not generally had in these crises needs to be put together pretty quickly.
We've already seen the rollout of contact tracing. This will ultimately lead to even more mass surveillance, using AI to interpret the data. Big tech will happily carry this out as they've done in China.
The American people want the economy to open up, we all do. We want our societies to open up, we all do. And in order to do that, we have testing, tracing, treatment, and isolation. And that is the path. It's what the scientists advise.
Masks and social distancing have already become mandatory in many places, enforced by either government or complicit corporations.
I'm going to issue an executive order that says all people in public must have a mask or nose covering, mouth and nose covering, and they must wear it in a situation where you cannot or are not maintaining social distancing.
Virus and antibody tests could become mandatory, forcing you to prove your biological innocence before being allowed into the general public.
Man, this ain't right, man. Don't put the phone down now.
Considering the faulty testing, eventually possessing antibodies or testing negative will not be enough to please the social engineers.
Alpharetta Police Department posted about the testing, saying there is not a definitive answer as to what a positive or negative antibody test means.
The CDC showing up and getting information could lead to a cure.
There is only one solution as far as the social engineers are concerned: a vaccine, which will be rushed through trials and highly experimental.
Let's talk a little bit about how this is a different kind of vaccine. This is not your grandparents' vaccine. The idea behind this is that instead of manufacturing a vaccine and injecting that into you, what they would do is they would inject some RNA fragments, and that would make your body turn into a vaccine manufacturer itself.
We will be told by our controllers that this vaccine is so important to the greater good that it must be mandatory.
Let me put it very clearly. You have no constitutional right to endanger the public and spread the disease, even if you disagree. You have no right not to be vaccinated. You have no right not to wear a mask. You have no right to open up your business.
It's you, Dershowitz, that's coming with your vaccine, telling me I will submit. You're assaulting me, asshole! You goddamn fucking piece of shit!
Your vaccination record will need to be trackable. And ultimately, all of this will be tied to your global digital ID, global digital currency, and social credit score. This will be precipitated by socioeconomic collapse, food riots, and war. If we do not stop it, humanity will be enslaved or destroyed. Again, the beast is coming.